The Cursed Hands of Deboroma. Long ago, in the village of Omisi, there lived a powerful witch doctor named Deboroma. His herbs could heal the sick, his chants could bring rain, and his potions could drive away evil spirits. People traveled from far and wide to seek his help, for there was no ailment he could not cure. But Deboroma had one flaw: his heart was filled with pride and greed. He believed that every woman who sought his healing owed him something in return, and he often took advantage of his power. The villagers whispered about his wicked ways, but no one dared to speak against him, for they feared his wrath. The wrath of the gods. One day, a woman named Neka arrived at his shrine, carrying her sick child. The boy burned with fever, and his breath was weak. With tears in her eyes, Neka begged Deboroma to save him. Deboroma mixed his herbs and whispered incantations over the child. Soon, the boy's fever broke, and he opened his eyes, calling for his mother. Overjoyed, Neka fell to her knees to thank the healer. But Deboroma grinned and said, "You must repay me." Neka's heart pounded as she understood his meaning. But she was not like the others. She stood tall and spoke. "He who heals with unclean hands will soon drink from a poisoned well." Deboroma laughed at her words, but as he stepped closer, the ground beneath his feet trembled. The great baobab tree behind his shrine groaned, and its roots burst from the soil. The spirits of the land had heard Neka's cry. A blinding light filled the air, and a voice like thunder declared, "Deboroma, you have misused the gifts we gave you. From this day forward, your hands will bring only suffering." At once, Deboroma felt a terrible pain in his fingers. He looked down and gasped. His hands had turned black as charcoal, withered and useless. His magic was gone. His power was no more. The curse of isolation. But the gods were not finished with him. They decreed that he would live the rest of his days under house arrest, confined to the small land surrounding his shrine. He could not step beyond its borders, nor could he call for help. He planted his own food, drank from his own well, and lived in silence. Anyone who dared to visit him was instantly struck with deafness. His kinsmen abandoned him, disgusted by his atrocities. He had no wife, no child, no friend. The laughter of the village children, the songs of the women, and the sounds of the market all taunted him from a distance, but he could never join them. A ghost among the living. Over time, the villagers spoke of strange happenings around Deboroma's shrine. At night, shadows moved without figures to cast them. The wind carried whispers, but no one could understand the words. Some said the spirits still whispered to him, mocking him for his downfall. Fishermen who passed near his land reported seeing his silhouette sitting in his chair, motionless, staring toward the village. His eyes glowed dimly in the dark, yet he never spoke. The once thriving shrine became a place of dread. Animals refused to go near it. Birds that landed on his roof never flew away again. The trees surrounding his home withered, their leaves never regrowing. It was as if the land itself had rejected him. The death of Deboroma. One evening, as the sun set in hues of red and gold, Deboroma sat in his old wooden chair, facing the village that had cast him out. His eyes, once filled with arrogance, now held only regret. He wished to speak, but he had no one to listen. He wished to be forgiven, but no one cared. That was how he died, alone, forgotten, and unmourned. Days passed, and his corpse sat untouched in the chair. No one dared to approach, for fear of the god's wrath. His body withered under the sun and the rain, until the wind carried his bones away, scattering them like dust. The legend of the Forbidden Shrine. Even after his death, his presence was felt. The villagers told stories of a shadowy figure still sitting in the chair, watching the village in eternal silence. If anyone dared to set foot on his cursed land, they would lose their hearing and their voice, forever trapped in the same silence Deboroma had suffered. No one buried him. No one mourned him. His name was spoken only as a warning. Let the fate of Deboroma remind all who misuse their power that the gods do not forget.